truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the JohnAge Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the AnomicAge, and I am your host, JohnAge, coming at you in the not-so-wee hours of the PM. We're over here at like 8:17 Eastern Standard Time in the formerly great state of North Carolina. I will be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet, a forced march into obsolescence. Thrust upon us by a global satanic death cult of pedophiles. Check out AnomicAge.com. If you can do no more, like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions. PayPal.me/AnomicAge. Patreon.com/AnomicAge. We got the iPhone app, the Android app, subscribe by email link, and so much more. You guessed it. It's right there at AnomicAge.com, I tell you. It's right. The place to be. So much to get into this evening, man. I'm going to love talking about some of this stuff because I'm going to be myself even more so than I normally am. So I'm going to keep it conversational. I couldn't help, and I was going to call this episode, about 3 different things. I was going to call it Black Pill Overdose, and I thought about also calling it Nero Was Right, with a lovely image of Nero watching Rome burn. And I'm probably going to use those at a later date because I like those. But I'm going to keep it very conversational. It's funny because the last show, I got somebody commenting, and I love this, folks. This is why I do this. I got someone commenting that I need to get to the point. Stop jibber-jabbering, in other words, and get to the point. Your comment was deleted. You're blocked. So if you don't like this show, don't participate or watch or be any part of this show, because guess what? If there's one thing I am, and it's all that I am, is myself. And I shall take the show in any direction and have it any way I want. Because that's how I roll. Anyway, I just thought that was idly amusing. I probably shouldn't be doing the show today because I feel lethally dark. And oh so. I won't say downright evil, but almost. I'm borderline on the maniacal at this point in the game. So that's kind of where I am at this juncture. Looks like one of the lights is out, oh boy. So anyway, I'm going to keep rolling this show just like I can continue to always roll in this show. Anyway, I love the commentary part of the show, actually. I love referring to it as a conversation because I think that's exactly what this is. It's conversational. And man, it's been so silly lately in the real world. I watch a lot of folks do this sort of show where they cover the news and they cover these various esoteric topics and the occult. And after a while, it has to just kind of wear on you. And I really don't know how people can get up here with a straight face and do this. It's just so ridiculous. I think I'm going to change my tagline to the world through the lens of rage, disgust, and a healthy dose of sarcasm, because that's how I have to view the world. You have to view the world this way, in my humble opinion, just to make it through, because it is just silly. Each day is just more silly than the next. So while we are still pee-peeing around in the Middle East, I mean, we were, like a week ago, we're on the precipice of nuclear war. Ooh. And then that just moved straight into let's bomb some stuff that may or may not be nuclear facilities. And I guess we stopped short. We did like the pull-up jumper before we went full-blown Bush 2001 post 9/11 world. You know, I guess we hopefully stopped just short of that. So then we had a ceasefire that Israel immediately violated. then Iran violated, and then here we are. I guess everybody is holding themselves back in the free-for-all urinating contest that is the Middle East. So maybe for a couple hours, couple days, who knows. But not to be outdone with the stupidity, we got the mayoral race. Let me put this image on the screen because it makes me feel better. Meteor Attack. Don't worry, I'll get into the Meteor Attack in a minute. The mayoral race of New York City. You got to laugh about this one, folks. Can we put the names on the screen? Let's do that because somebody's going to have a heart attack if I don't talk about this, right? This is the big three that's in the mayoral race category. So you got Eric Adams, independent. You got Zohran Mamdani, Democrat. Let me just peel those scales off your eyes. He's a commie fruit bat, folks. He's a Muslim commie fruit bat, okay? This is his own, like, hashtag communism, hashtag Muslim. I mean, this is his own shtick, right? And then you got Curtis Silwa, Republican. Curtis Silwa. So these are the individuals running for the mayor race in, I don't even think it's arguably the biggest, if not most influential city in the world. And this is what you got. This is really it. I mean, this is really, really it. So you really have to laugh, don't you? So Eric Adams went from being a Democrat, again, code for communist trash, to now going as an independent? Okay. I guess. Holy cow. It just gets more humorous all the time. But yeah, I mean, Zohran Mamdani, clearly the commie candidate here. Muslim commie candidate. I mean, he's going all over New York in these ridiculous campaigns, shirtless and whatever. I mean, he's clearly going to be the person that wins. I'm just, newsflash, they're going with that boob, right? Don't you just have to laugh? I mean, you kind of have to, don't you? Because on the one hand, I can't recall who I heard say this. I don't recall. I was listening to something recently, and the guy said something to the effect of watching the old WKRP in Cincinnati show. Maybe this was the great John B. Wells. I'll go with that, but perhaps not. No, it was not. It was Jason Whitlock. I'm mistaken. Jason Whitlock. Full credit to you, sir. He said he was watching the old WKRP in Cincinnati show when he was a youngster, and saying something to the effect of, reality as an adult can't be this stupid, can it? And then, yes, it can, Jason. It really can. And that's kind of what I think and say and articulate in every way when I see what's going on today. Because that's just what's up. I often tell people that life as an adult, really, is just an extension of high school. It really is. It's the same morons. It's the same jock mentality. It's the same cool kids versus the stoners and the hippies and the skaters and the punks and the goths. It's all the same social politic, if you will. It's just now going on in adulthood. It really is that stupid, as Jason Whitlock articulated about 24 hours ago. Really is. So do I think anyone but Zohran Mamdani is going to win the mayoral race in New York City? No. Of course he's going to win. Because the country, and of course the major cities, the Democrat-run bleephole variety, have been infiltrated by Muslims, have been infiltrated by commie trash, have been infiltrated by the ilk that would, of course, endorse this sort of clowered and piven stupidity. And of course, you got what's that? AOC. Of course, she's endorsing this guy. She's bringing him in as like her pick, of course. So don't be surprised when New York City is going to be run by this commie Muslim guy. Don't be surprised when we have Sharia law in New York City. Don't be surprised when New York City turns into Detroit 2.0. Of course, that's what's going to happen. Did you not think that? I mean, come on. He's getting this huge media push on the right and the left, and I would argue, as many have before me, that there's no such thing as bad publicity. So, of course, he's getting all this negative press on the right, where everybody's supposed to gnash their teeth, rend their garments, shriek and ooh and all, that we're going to have this this Muslim fruit bat as the mayor of New York City. And I'm like, oh, of course. Are you surprised? Come on. Have you seen the mayor of Chicago? What was that that creature? The mayor of L.A., same thing, another creature from the Black Lagoon, incarnate in human form. Of course. Did you expect anything else? Come on. Just stop messing around. Just get serious. Of course that's what's going to happen. Don't be surprised. Anyway, that really wasn't the impetus of this show. As you see the title, Meteor Attack. Oh my. Meteor Attack, because, let's see if we can pull this one up. I know we can. The Meteor Attack. What I'm referring to is this fireball in the sky. A suspected meteor. A suspected meteor rattles Georgia and the Carolinas. So yeah, that's really what's up. So this is basically around 12 or high noon. People across North Georgia and parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, report seeing the meteor smoke trailing its descent. A boom around 12:30 rattled houses across metro Atlanta. The National Weather Service didn't initially recognize what it saw on its radar, said Dylan Lusk. A senior, pinkies out, Dylan, meteorologist at the service's Peachtree City Station. So yeah, that's what's up, folks. A meteor. I thought it was just Georgia because all I saw a little bit ago was Georgia. But then I tell you, I noticed reports of it in North Cac and South Carolina too. So whoop-de-doo. I guess we got a meteor attack now. I didn't have that on my bingo card. I mean, I had a lot of this other hoopla, nonsensical dribble. You can always have on your bingo card war in the Middle East. So, I mean, that's kind of like free space. On your apocalyptic bingo card that everybody fills out every year, war in the Middle East is kind of like a free space. So, I mean, if you want to put another free space on there, I guess you can. But technically, war in the proverbial sandbox of the Middle East is always on the bingo card. Always, right? So other things that you've probably got on your bingo card, pandemic. I mean, they're cooking up something, you know. You got Bill Gates and the usual suspects, boobs, that, of course, didn't go to jail and won't go to jail. Everybody's, again, gnashing teeth, rending garments over this whole, we haven't seen any indictments. We haven't seen any arrests. Here's a newsflash for you, folks. Overdose on black pills yet? You're not going to see any arrests. No, you're not. Just as this came out yesterday, too, the Diddy trial. P. Diddy. Sean Combs, if you're nasty. Yeah, his trial, they just dropped like a plethora of charges. So he must have some really good video on some pretty high uppity-ups, you know. So, yeah, he just dropped a plethora of charges. Well, it was like kidnapping and a couple of rapes. At this point, who the bleep knows? What we do know is that quite possibly nothing will happen to Diddy, just as nothing has happened to virtually any of these other people. The only person that anything of note has happened to is poor little Ghislaine Maxwell. And as you probably saw like 2 weeks ago or more, she's basically making her tap of the watch saying, yo, why am I still in here? You know, you need to release me because if you don't release me, something bad might happen. Kind of like that old mafia line. You better get some fire insurance if something bad might happen. So I would pretty much think that old Ghislaine's time in solitaire is probably going to be coming to a close soon. aka she's going to have a mysterious death / suicide / muerte, or just she'll poof and vanish out of the jail. Kind of like the other guy we all know so well, right? The guy that didn't hang himself, just like drywall. That guy. I prognosticate something along those lines soon. Or I fear she'll be dropping a tape. A tape will hit the media circuit. And it won't be anything big, but it'll just be something big enough to get her out of the slammer. And yeah, that's pretty much what's up with old Puffy. You know, I saw something to the effect that old Puffy, during the Puffy Puff trial today, they had old Justin Bieber doing some presenting. That could be hogwash. I don't know. I didn't vet this, so take that with a large grain of salt. But what I can tell you is that most likely old Puffy Puff ain't going nowhere. He's probably going to be out. You know, may get some community service at best, you know. He'll get blackballed from the quote-unquote music industry, but what does that really mean? Is there really a music industry anymore? I don't think so. I think it's an AI industry. I think it's a plants industry. I do definitely believe it's a bunch of ne'er-do-wells and drug addicts and pedophiles industry that's kind of mopping up what's left of anything remotely music-wise that ever existed. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the horizon for old Puffy Puff. Well, why am I even talking about that? Because we got meteor attacks in South Carolina, or I guess Georgia. Maybe it just kind of flew over North and South Cac on its way to Atlanta. What do I think about this? That's a real question. I don't know. Is it real? Is it imaginary? Is it a government op? Is it a weather weapon? Who the bleep knows? China seems to be experiencing some real heavy flooding right now, so maybe China's the ones getting the weather weapons right now. I've seen a lot of info. I can't remember the guy's name posting this stuff, but a lot of anomalies in the NexRad systems showing up on the Doppler. A lot of anomalies in the southeast. And where was that? That was like a mysterious explosion sort of over the Midwest that showed up on the Doppler. Looked exactly like an explosion would. Just sort of popped up on the Doppler as this erroneous, unknown, and undisclosable explosion over the Midwest. Again, NexRad, anybody? You think so? You think that whole Harpy Harp thing might actually still be up? Again, I think the harp was a bit of a red herring, if anything, because now they've moved and transcended and eclipsed the harp attack with a lot of NexRad systems all over the place. There's one about 30 minutes up the road from me, I do believe. So, yeah, that's about what we can take away from this meteor attack. As I posted all over my social media, I hope this is the big one. I pray this is the big one. Please, Elizabeth, let this be the big one. Let this be the beginning of the end. No jokes, no puns, no sarcasm. Please let it be. Because at this point, I think we are all doing that John Lennon thing. We're all just sitting here watching the wheels go round. And I do believe that Nero might have been right. I mean, we all know the weird stuff he was doing with his horse. And, yeah, fiddling while Rome burned at the end. Yeah, I guess. But at a certain point, what can you do? Except just sort of sit back and watch the masterpiece of destruction unfold. You know? So, yeah, Muslim commie mayor of New York, sure, why not? Weird explosions over Atlanta, why not? What might be in Atlanta that's importante por los gentes? CDC, anyone? Yeah, it might be. Might be just that old CDC right there. Could be. Maybe this is the pretext. Maybe this is the old magician. Look over here while they just slug you in the gut with something new popping up on the radar. Pun intended. I don't know. I guess we shall just see. I'll keep praying that this is the big one, and hopefully it'll actually hit southeastern North Carolina, and that'll be the precipice of it all. I'm hoping, anyway. Yeah, my goodness gracious. Anything else we got to talk about? I don't think so. I think we've kind of covered the proverbial Pandora's box of the stupidity on the horizon, and that has been opened up upon us in the last few days. I think that's about it for now, folks. So pray for the meteor attack to continue. Maybe it'll be worse than we hoped. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part. Part? Yeah, do your part. Make a difference, and I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the AnomicAge.
Thank you for listening to the AnomicAge, a JohnAge project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to AnomicAge.com. That's AnomicAge.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to the AnomicAge.
Thank you.